Modern day conservatism mainly derives from bigotry, racism, and ignorance. And it's funny because these same people are also trying to claim that they're Christian. And it makes me laugh because they are far from that. Let's talk about it. So if you haven't been on social media, there's this weird uprising and trend at the moment of people openly being racist, openly being bigots, and openly being ignorant. And they're not hiding it.
Here to speak on behalf of Donald Trump. America was built by and for the white Christian people of this nation. White power!
Actual number of blacks who are committing murder is more than
whites.
Right. And whites are significantly greater
60% compared to 13%
percentage of the population. Yeah.
So if you take that, and then you took a law like Deuteronomy 21, which is a just law that God enacted through Moses. The law was that if you had a rebellious son, you have a child they're coming up into their manhood and they're rebellious. They don't listen. He lists some characteristics and even though they're disciplined, they will not turn. He says the fathers to bring them out into the town square. This is a rebellious son. And then they stone him to death. They kill him.
And an armed robber would certainly be one of those.
Oh, absolutely. Armed robber, all the ghetto
violent
culture.
crimes.
Basically, take ghetto culture. It would describe this to a T.
Say the N-word as she walks out.
Yeah! Do it.
Should I yell it?
Do it. Yeah, I'll do a Roman while you do it.
All right. Get the fuck out of here, you stupid fucking nigger!
Oh, everybody's getting off now? Oh, this is great.
I did it last time, too.
Here come the gorillas.
Sit back down, you know your words.
No, let them go. It's fine. This is some behavior.
Just remember, heaven has strict immigration policies. Hell has open borders.
If Jesus was here right now, would you let him in?
Of course I would.
Why?
As long as he went through the proper, as long as
he came here legally. As long as Jesus Christ came to this country legally, we would let him in.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you. No, thank you.
This is some breaking news. Trump's spiritual advisor, Pastor Robert Morris, has pleaded guilty to 5 felony counts of sexually assaulting a 12-year-old girl. He assaulted her for 5 straight years.
Can I please ask you one question now that you've asked me so many, and now that you've called me names? Dude, hit the other cheek. I can take it. Call me more names. I want to ask you something. Please tell me one actual gospel commandment or teaching of Christ.
Complete fraud.
Please tell me one actual gospel. Please tell us all and the viewers watching one actual gospel commandment or teaching of Christ that the MAGA movement fights for. Not what conservative Christians like. Something Christ, who is a mascot to this movement, actually commanded of us. Chapter and verse if you can.
Sure.
Welcome the stranger. Individuals and nations take care of the poor. Stop executing people. Your movement.
Do you want me to answer, or are you going to
answer the question then?
Please do.
You want me to answer, or are you going to answer? So the truth of the matter is that if you're really as concerned with the poor as you claim, you would be all about the MAGA movement, who's trying to stop job-crushing immigration
of the poor
to the United States. I'm giving it to you. Calm down.
Christ commands us to welcome the stranger.
Calm down so I can answer your question, lunatic. I'm going to answer it precisely. Here's how it works. If it is the case that you make these bold claims like you do in your book, that Christians ought to be paying taxes for the poor so that we got to give it all to the poor. That's what your view is.
That's not my suggestion, bro. That's Jesus' suggestion.
Then it would be the case that you would not want these job-crushing waves of mass migration coming to the United States, which displace
the poor. Andrew. Just one.
They displace the poor.
Give me one teaching of Christ.
I just explained to you that if it's the case,
of Christ you fight for.
I just did. I just explained to you, if you really want to uplift the poor, you don't do it with crushing mass migration.
What Jesus teaching did you explain?
You mentioned the Bible. You've been talking about how it's your favorite book. And you said, I think last night in Iowa, some people are surprised that you say that. I'm wondering what 1 or 2 of your most favored Bible verses are and why.
I wouldn't want to get into it because to me that's very personal. You know, when I talk about the Bible, it's very personal. So I don't want to get into verses. I don't want to get into.
There's no verse that means a lot to you that you think about or cite.
The Bible means a lot to me, but I don't want to get into specifics.
Even to cite a verse that
you
like?
No, I don't want to do that.
You're an Old Testament guy or a New Testament guy?
Probably equal. I think it's just an incredible. The whole Bible is an incredible. I joke. Very much so. They always hold up the Art of the Deal. I say my second favorite book of all time. But I just think the Bible is just something very special.
And whilst I don't get offended by these kind of things, whilst I don't feel any type of anger towards these kind of things, it does bother me for one reason alone. These same people claim to be Christians. And for those of you who are unaware, right, it breaks my heart because some of you would be sworn off of Christianity because you're seeing people like these all over social media claiming that, oh, they're a Christian person, yet in the same breath say bad stuff about black people, say bad stuff about women, say bad stuff about immigrants, and just have no sense of regard for anyone else. To be quite honest, they're mainly pro-white, and anything that's not white, it doesn't deserve any type of luxury, any goodness, or whatever it is. They're quite harsh, they're quite mean, they're quite bigoted, and just evil, if you ask me, to put it simply like that. I was going to be nice, but I'm going to be quite straight up with this because at the end of the day, not everyone in that camp knows any better. There's some people who are conservatives, but they don't have a mind of their own. We live in a world where some people don't have a mind of their own and they're following this trend thinking that, oh, this is what a Christian is meant to follow. However, at the same time, you are a grown adult. I'm already going to put too much sympathy points for you, but this video is to educate not only people who are sworn off of Christianity, but also to educate those people who are in the Christian faith. I think this is the right way to move. I'm here to explain to you why it's not. Now, I'm going to put this video because I think it explains it quite well.
This image of this guy at Charlie Kirk's memorial bearing a cross on wheels has gone viral. And for good reason, because this is near perfect symbolism for the state of modern Christianity. And when I say modern Christianity, I'm not talking about the kind that commands you to go to church and read the Bible. I'm talking about the kind that commands you to worship your government and its politicians. I'm talking about megachurch, MAGA, Kenneth Copeland, WWE, AIPAC, Christianity. And I'm talking about it as someone with profound, undying love for Jesus Christ. So, for those who might be unfamiliar, bear your cross is a biblical phrase encouraging self-sacrifice on the path of following Christ. Examples could include working a job you hate to provide for your family, foregoing your reputation for the sake of staying true to your beliefs, showing up for people in ways they may not show up for you. Bearing a cross is not supposed to be easy. Crosses are big, heavy, and burdensome. Jesus was a crafty and creative carpenter, and even he did not tack on a set of wheels to the bottom of his cross because he knew it was his to bear. Modern Christianity is not about bearing your cross. It's about hiding behind the cross while defying the teachings of the man who died on it. When your cross has wheels, you don't feel the weight of it. You don't feel the gravity of the ideas you support and the decisions you make. You can move it from here to there, from the Charlie Kirk Memorial to the AIPAC fundraiser without much effort, because you're not bearing a cross at all. You're dragging it in every sense of that word. And while I don't expect this silver-haired fella to hoist and literally carry what looks like a 500-pound cross, I do expect images like this one to remind us what an absurdly satirical world and especially country we live in.
Jesus Christ would not approve of whatever the hell this is claiming to be nowadays. It's not everyone that claims to be a Christian that is a Christian. It's not everyone that claims to be of God that is of God. It's not everyone that claims to love Jesus Christ that is of Jesus Christ. Now, obviously, we've seen a lot of the things that have happened this year, with Charlie Kirk being, unalived, God rest his soul. But because Charlie Kirk has been alive and he was a man of Christian faith, we have a lot of these fake people saying that they're people of faith as well, but they say bad stuff, like I said. And for me, it's like, why this offends me so much is because it turns people away from Christ. If you guys knew how loving Jesus Christ was, you would be as angry as I was, right? But the problem is not many people read the Bible. And for those of you who don't read the Bible, it's okay. It's fine. But I want to make it perfectly clear in this video. Jesus Christ does not condone racism. He believes all of our lives are equal. Jesus Christ does not condone ignorance. He says ignorance is foolish, and those people who stay in ignorance will die in ignorance. Jesus Christ does not condone not caring for others. In fact, the whole Christian faith is about caring and accommodating others.
I'd like to share one of my favorite Charlie Kirk quotes with you guys. It really shows who he was as a person. Just watch this clip of him openly mocking compassion, saying that one of the most critical failures of the modern churches in America is their compassion towards immigrants.
So this is, again, one of the major moral failings of the American church is on immigration. Even some churches are good on pro-life stuff. And I hear some of these pastors and they're like, well, you know, we should let them in with open arms. I said, what Bible are you reading?
Just to give you the entire full context, because Charlie Kirk defenders will say I'm not doing that. But after this clip, he says you can pick and choose, cherry pick verses out of the Bible all you want to, but that doesn't change the truth. He then goes on to explain that you can still love people while you're deporting them out of your country and back into the corrupt country they're trying to escape from. He specifically said we can cherry pick verses and misconstrue them all we want to, but it's pretty clear in the Bible saying, "For I was hungry and you gave me something to eat. I was thirsty and you gave me something to drink. I was a stranger, immigrant, and you took me in." Nowhere in this verse does it say I was an immigrant and you deported me back to my own country of corruption where my life was at risk. From Leviticus to Matthew to Hebrews, compassion is not optional in the Bible, it is the foundation of it. And the fact that Charlie Kirk was trying to suggest anything otherwise proves that he did not actually follow the teachings of Christ, but rather he weaponized religion to spew more hate and division, which is the exact opposite of what Jesus would want. The truth is, Christianity without compassion is not Christianity, it's nationalism.
When you see people saying things like, oh, they have to go back to their own country and we don't want them here and this, that, and the third, how is that Christian in any way, shape, or form? If you see what's all over social media, it's nothing to be scared of. At the end of the day, these people aren't exactly the most toughest people ever. But we see people casually saying the N-word, casually saying that America is for white people, or even in the UK, they're casually saying we don't want anyone here. And in that same breath, they will say that they're Christians. Wow. But don't think that this just happens with MAGA or in the UK. This happens all across the globe. There are so many people that claim that they are Christian and of God, and they do such evil and wicked things. And this is why I'm making the point in this video, right? Guys, if you are a person who is interested in Jesus Christ, heck, if you're not interested in Jesus Christ, I highly suggest that you get interested in Jesus Christ. But the most important thing that you guys need to understand is the ability to read for yourself. Because what we have is a lot of blind bats in this MAGA, racism, Christianity movement who believe that if I'm a Christian, I have to follow what Donald Trump or all these people say. They think that their political spectrum matches with Jesus Christ. And if you're someone who knows of Jesus Christ, you would know that whatever political spectrum that's man-made has no connection to Jesus Christ whatsoever. If you read the Bible, Jesus Christ mixes things that are in the conservative ideology and the liberal ideology. You feel me? He is not of any side. He's just on focusing on what's right. And what I hate to see is that they will use Jesus Christ as their mascot. They'll use Jesus Christ as their poster boy, but will not follow in his ways at all. I remember seeing the Charlie Kirk event and all these Christians talking and saying the most craziest things. And I see it all over the page. I put all the clips here and it's like, what are we doing right now? I would go as far to say that these people are agents of Satan. These public speakers and these people talking about I'm a Christian, but that same breath saying such evil things. I think their goal is to push people away from Christianity. And I say that because I've never seen someone so boldly ignorant pick out scriptures to match their agenda and push it forward to other people. And they get satisfaction seeing how triggered people get. When Jesus says, don't provoke people to anger and don't spread misinformation. But they love that though, because for them, they get the pleasure of seeing people triggered. They get the pleasure of pushing people away from Christ. Where is the love that's going to attract people to Christ if we're filled with such hateful people like this? Such people that see another person as the enemy just because they are of the opposing political spectrum than you. Like I said, there's a problem with the left as well. But with the right, what I'm focusing on today, at least the left aren't saying their mascot is Jesus Christ. And that's the thing that irks me the most. Because the more that these people go out, right? There's content creators like me or smaller content creators that don't have a big voice like all these people that you see that came out of nowhere. And it's breaking my heart because these bigger content creators have the ability and power to turn people away from Jesus Christ. And those people will be like, yeah, if this is what Jesus Christ is about, if this is what Christianity is about, I'm good. Please, for the person who ever is watching this, do not ever think that MAGA conservatives that you see in the UK or in the US have anything to do with Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ does not condone any of this at all. But this is the further why I'm saying in all my videos, and I'll say in this video, We have a lot of people spreading misinformation. We have a lot of people boldly lying and looking at you in the face, telling you lies because they know you don't read. They know you're not going to research it. They know you're too lazy to research it, which is why you need to break the status quo of what they think, because they think they're smarter than you. And you can't let the enemy think they're smarter than you, because they think they're smarter than you. They're going to change your mind with however way that they want. They're going to have the power and the superiority over you for the simple fact that they know the answers and you don't, because you won't read. It's scary how confident these liars are. And because how they are this confident, surely that means we are going wrong somewhere. Surely that means that we are giving them the confidence to be that confident. Which is why with every piece of information that you get, whether it be about the Bible, or whether it be about events, or an information about what's happening someplace, read. Read, read, read. Read. We're in dark times, people. I don't mean to get all apocalyptic, but we are in dark times where people are telling us what to do when we have the ability to think for ourselves. We have the ability to open the Bible ourselves. And if you don't open that Bible for yourself, you won't know. Don't listen to these people. If you want, even if you're not a Christian, right? Because this channel is to bring people to Christ. The easiest way to tell if someone's of Christ is by their demeanor. Are they coming out of love, or are they coming with aggression, wickedness, anger, evil? Because if they're coming with that wickedness and anger, they're not Christian. And for those of us who are Christian, we have to do our part to spread the gospel in a positive way and fight against this evil, because they are purposely turning people away from Christ. They are agents of Satan, whether they like to be it or not. They are racist. They are bigoted. They are disingenuous. They are liars. They are thieves. They're manipulators. They are workers of Satan. Even if they don't think they're workers of Satan, they are workers of Satan because they have the traits that Satan has. Satan, everything that I just listed is of Satan. Satan has fun doing those things. When you see these podcasts, these people smiling, it's because they have that same devil within them. And it's our job to spread the gospel in a positive way, to make sure that we destroy these evil narratives that they're trying to put. Jesus Christ is coming back one day. That's no secret. But people aren't going to know if we have people like this pushing them away. Even inside the churches, even the people that don't have a loud voice, there's people running churches X, Y, and Z. We need to represent Christ. We need to be bold about our faith and go out there and preach the gospel, spread the good news, so that these people don't get a chance to manipulate people to thinking what they want them to think. Conservatism doesn't match with Christianity. Neither does liberalism. None of it does. They may have traits from the Bible, but notice with these political parties, right? They'll take traits from the Bible that sound good. They will do that. But then they'll spin their whole agenda to it. And from what we've seen from the disgraceful two parties, whether it be in the US or the UK, it only gets worse. So keep an eye out. Be very mindful. And don't fall for this garbage. They're all disingenuous losers. Disgraceful. Absolutely pitiful. But what do you guys think about this whole situation? Do you have any experience with this kind of thing? Whatever the case may be, let me know in the comments. Show some love. And if you're a Christian, say amen in the comments. Tell me about your experience. With that being said, God bless, take care, and I'll see you guys next video.